And Night Stalker.
I'm sad that Darkseer has been banned so much. He's one of my favorite heroes to watch.
Really?
As a spectator, I think he's pretty exciting. The vacuum makes the big plays.
Yeah. Are you trying to hint at people should put Darkseer for their facebook.com/RG Nordic?
I don't know.
No, he stood in his.
Although I think we established that I'm not allowed to pick a hero that has been only banned, not played.
Darkseer's been played, right?
I don't.
Actually, has
I don't think we. I think he's been banned. I think he's been first phase banned every game so far. Actually.
Darkseer, no. Monkey Business loved their.
He played for 4 Clovers on Tuesday.
Okay, it was 4 Clovers.
Can you play Clockwork? Oh, Tiny Wisp incoming.
All right.
You know, by the way.
Do you pick Tiny now? If
Yeah,
you're
I was gonna say Tiny is totally pickable just by himself. We did see Sexy Bambo do it just with the offlane Tiny.
That's Sexy Bambo.
That's rare. We also at PGL Pro-Am that I cast with Andy, we just had like a Tiny that went Blink Dagger first and just ganked it nonstop. But
I mean, we have seen the 4 Tiny work, but they hand it right over. They're confident with their Shaker Queen of Pain, which is a very strong opening duo, to be fair.
Especially against IO Tiny. Like, you just prepare the Fisher when they relocate in.
Yeah, and even Quap, she's got the AoE damage, can burst down the Wisp very quickly.
Exactly.
Quap is the important win, actually. Sorry.
If you're Monkey Business, I mean, you first pick IO Tiny. I mean, that's the most obvious thing ever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're going to be able to be prepared. You're going to be prepared for anything that comes your way, right?
Pretty much. Combo is very insane.
So they should be fine with going up against Earthshaker Quap.
Yes, and Quab is actually a very important pick if she's in the mid lane because a lot of Tiny's harass not only through the Avalanche Toss combo, which you have a ton of mana to sustain, but when Tiny just walks at you at the mid lane, you're just very afraid because you're afraid of getting tossed back to the other ramp and get tower hit. But Queen of Pain could be a little bit lax with that because she could blink back out.
Yeah, it's true, but it's still a lot of harass, especially if IO has rune control. You can have you can just constantly spam out on. Like Queen of Pain has to buy all these salves, that kind of stuff. I think in this situation, if you want Queen of Pain to be able to do the damage to kill IO, you safe lane it or put it in a different lane.
Traditionally, we see a lot of teams, especially like Alliance, they put a Bristleback in the mid lane
exactly.
Because when you see that very projected toss coming in, you just turn around and you start spamming close range.
Brewmaster is actually pretty good as well. Like late game, you have the spin for the Tiny. You also have the miss chance with the Drunken Haze.
The problem with the Brew is you just have to get so much done early. Because if you don't win the game by like 30 minutes, the Tiny will just start to overtake the Brew, and eventually the Brewlings can just get right-clicked down by
but if you're
Wanting
good with your spin and you can control the Tiny through BKB,
it's possible.
The nice thing about Bristleback also is that Wisp and Tiny starts with 0 armor. So Quill Spray is doing essentially max damage early on, and you could actually out-harass them quite easily, but I don't know if Team Empire is going to do that.
I want to see the Bane. I really want to see Bane.
Yeah, you talked about how it's great for controlling one of the partner and kill the other. Right?
Exactly, yeah. It's also good with them as well because you can sleep to set up a relocate gank as well. It's good on both teams.
Yeah. I was a little cynical about the Silencer pick we saw yesterday or the day before, but that is a hero that Empire likes that is also pretty good against the Wisp Tiny.
Witch Doctor as well.
Yeah. And there's the TA ban. Yeah, we talked about that quite a bit.
We talked about Darkseer as well. It was actually Monkey Business that removed it.
Yeah, Witch Doctor is actually a good picker.
Surprised about that.
It's really good against Relocate.
Okay, Tuskar is going to be most likely Resolutions hero?
Yeah. I think so.
Or it could be a support. We've been seeing that more and more commonly nowadays. Alright, this is going to be Meander's hero. Had a big success recently. Just kind of running around getting a ton of kills.
Really good against Earthshaker. You can stop his combo completely. He's able to fish or enchant totem if you get him with the battery assault.
It's more importantly, when he disappears off the map and sends a rocket into the jungle, there's likely to be a relocate as well as a hook coming in. It's a very strong ganking
with the
triple so far.
The vision is awesome,
yeah.
10 seconds remaining.
So likely we're going to see another support pick here for Team Empire, one that could help the burst damage. Dazzle comes to mind. The minus armor against Wisp and Tiny is very important. The vision is great. And Grave obviously could turn fights around, but at the same time, very much so a liability if Clock hooks in and isolates him, or if Tiny just jumps straight for him.
They have a lot of burst damage. Right?
Yeah, Disruptor, the other support that comes to mind, always good against all those heroes. Really great against the Clockwork as well as the Wisp. And we've seen a lot of successful Disruptor plays this tournament. But Shadow Demon. Okay, nice change of pace.
You know, I saw a Shadow Demon in the PGL Pro-Am. First item he went for is Aghanim's.
Ooh, I like that a lot.
And then you just like Apply break everywhere.
You
Yeah,
can
stack-
kite the tiny around a lot
Exactly.
as well.
You stack with the poison, you can destroy neutral camps.
And it was buffed recently. It's 3 charges now instead of 2, so a lot more viable.
Also, the illusions from Tiny could nearly actually kill Wisp. Like, if you disrupt them with max level disruption, they do a lot of damage.
Yeah, especially if you hit him with a soul catcher as well.
5 seconds.
By the way, stealth nerf to Shadow Demon. Now you can accidentally soul catcher siege units in lane.
Really?
Normally in the
It's,
before.
it's the best. It's the best. It's the best nerf to the hook, because punches.
And Morana as well.
Yes, they don't know that it's gonna go. That's
And
not
Keeper
gonna
of
go
Light.
through. It's amazing.
Okay, very global strategy.
Yeah,
It's actually insane.
so much mobility here.
The mana with Io as well, so like you give mana to Io and anyone he's tethered to has full mana.
Yeah.
Mana Leak, I think, is a very underrated spell right now. It is so powerful. The cooldown is really short. It's very spammable. It is a pain to deal with. He can just focus on one hero, like an Earthshaker or a Queen of Pain, and say, all right, you are out of this fight. You're either going to be out of mana or you are going to be stunned.
Especially, right, you mentioned Earthshaker and also Tusk very early on. They don't have that much mana to spend, so any
Yeah.
mana that you then can take away it's making a big difference.
Dire team ban.
Yeah, traditionally when you run this kind of very global strat, your lanes suffer. But if you look at the laning that Monkey Business has, they have Wisp Tiny, very strong lane, Clockwork, fine laner, and then Keeper plus whatever carry they're picking. I think they have very, very strong laning potential.
remaining.
Team Empire, they obviously have the defensive heroes in the Tusk, Shadow Demon, and Earthshaker, so I think they're also prepared for what's coming to them.
I think Monkey Business pick
Necrophos, okay.
like a Viper or some sort of tanky mech carrier to try and be in the front lines. Maybe even Shadowfiend works, to be honest.
Well, Shadow Fiend's been first
Oh,
banned
sorry, I'm
here.
blind. I can't see this.
Doom is still in the pool, though.
Oh, yeah.
So Empire could be looking for a 5th pick Doom, and that could fit pretty nicely into their lineup.
Doom.
Some additional control.
Yeah, it's pretty good. There's no, like, does Tiny really care if you Doom him? Not at all. Like, Io definitely does. Clockwork.
Yeah, Io definitely does if you do him. Or it.
It's going to be difficult to Doom an Io, to be honest, because you're usually so far away from the fight.
Reserve
I think
time.
dooming a Coddle will have a big impact as well. Because his right clicks basically don't do anything. So
Invoker could work here as well.
for
Come on, Empire.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Shadow
this-
Demon into Sunstrike setups.
exactly.
Yeah, hoping for
Even
your
Earthshaker.
resolution.
This is my time. Come on.
Resolution Invoker?
Yeah, I
Is it
think
gonna
works.
happen?
It's really good against Tiny IO. You can like prepare spells just.
You can really pick on the Wisp with it, because he
Yeah.
just has such a low HP. Well, if you hit him with a Fissure and a Sunstrike, that's almost all of his HP right
Exactly, yeah.
Does anybody still play Kunkka?
there. No,
It's like, no.
nobody does.
plays Kunkka.
I wish somebody would. though.
Kunkka is so good.
He's very underrated, I
With
think.
Shadow Demon especially.
Look at that hair.
So Monkey.
So the hair on the Invoker. The
it's
Super
Oh, the
Saiyan
Goku
hair.
hair, yeah.
5 seconds remaining.
But
5
they are
seconds,
the
they're-
main list. A Juggernaut.
All right, completely different angle.
There you go. Works well with the Shadow Demon, I guess.
Yeah, it does. You set up with this.
Yeah. On the lane, it's pretty good.
Really good against Clockwork as well.
I'm not sure what role it's trying to fulfill though.
Well,
Are
it's-
they picking him for the damage, for the healing, or for the push, or
Some late game insurance as well. in
a
terms
carry
of
that you
having
can't
care.
gimp, like you can Omni Slash out of cogs, or
Yeah, you can if Clockwork's you Omni Slash, you get
He can also
Mana
really
leak.
pick on these two squishy supports quite a bit. If he ever finds the Coddle or the Wisp,
10 seconds.
a half of an Omni Slash will do considerable damage. So he does bring that to the table.
yeah. He's also a carry that is not easily controlled by blinding light, because you can always spin that off.
Yeah, that's a great point.
I think Team Empire, when they want to win this fight, they're doing it through burst damage. Sonic Wave, Omni Slash,
Echo.
as well as
Walrus
Echo.
Punch.
Yeah,
They have
yeah.
a lot of control though as well. At the same time, you have Disruption, the Purge, you have the Sigil, the Punch. You know, they have a lot of kiting.
It's all
for them.
fairly single target apart from the Earthshaker.
But okay, so Clockwork hooks in and he does his battery assault. Like the only one you have to worry about then is Tiny. Like that's it.
Well, we haven't seen the last yet.
at the moment, yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean.
Probably a core pick here. You know, I don't think a hero like Gyrocopter is too bad, right? In this scenario.
Yeah.
Who did I say? For them, Viper. Yeah. I think Viper's still good.
For Monkey?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you need that front
Could
line.
the
mech carry.
Venomancer still work for them?
Oh yeah, Venom would be great. Although Big
true.
Daddy normally plays
And Huskar is still in the pool as well. Two of their heroes that they really like
Yeah,
playing.
the healing ward is very good against Venomancer. Yeah.
Huskar is very gimpable by Shadow Demon though. You get that Axe, you just
Yep.
break,
Yeah.
and then
that's
he's
true.
like, oh,
Yeah.
what did I do? Although, you know, SC getting Axe is not exactly the most common thing.
Yeah, so the way I see it is Tiny and I were farming. the other 3 are looking for
10
kills.
seconds
And you want someone on the front line.
Invoker, there he
They
is.
take the
Nice.
Invoker.
I
Okay.
believe this is a Miracle Invoker.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
so there
AK
is,
player, guys. Oh my god.
there is still good setup, though. They've got the Clockwork Cog, so Sunstrikes will be a reality.
So what do you think? Who's gonna win? Who's gonna take it?
monkey business. Easy game.
Louis.
I like to see Invoker do well, so I'm going to go with Monkey Business as well.
I was going to say, I want to see the Shadow Demon do well, but I think this Monkey Business draft is just too scary. They're going to control the map. Global strat all the way.
Okay, I guess I'm devil's advocate right now. Empire. Let's do it. I'm gonna
go.
win. Let's find out what the casters think of this draft. It's time to go to the first game of Empire, taking on Monkey Business with OD Pixel and Draskell.
Indeed. Thank you very much, Shiva. Myself, OD Pixel, and Draskell here, ready and reporting to cover Game 1 of Monkey Business versus Team Empire. The game is underway, though, so less of us and more of the in-game action as we hop straight in. And Andy, you can tell me. Not yet. Not yet. In fact, just hold it there. You can enjoy us for a little bit longer. We're just waiting for everything to get sorted in-game. But Andy, what do you reckon of the pick so far?
I'm inclined to think that Monkey Business have a more flexible draft, right? They have so many different ways they can play the game. They can still team fight. They got the tiny IO. They got Exort Invoker. Global presence is always great. I think the later the game goes, if they manage to get the tier 1s down at a decent timing, it's going to be so hard to react to that. Like, you can be anywhere at any given point. Your mid hero, you just do whatever you want, Sunstrike, relocate ganks. It's going to be hard for Empire.
Oh, well, let's see how they do. Obviously, there's been kind of glimmering glimpses of hope for Empire in the past couple of days, where they have had, games, and they've had bits of games where they've shown a lot of hope. But I mean, so far, losing 3 matches, they have only won the 1. They're going to be desperate to try and keep themselves up on the board and get something else in the bag here. The Warrior with the rest of the gang, just ready to maybe make a jump if anyone from the side of Monkey comes down here for the rune. And Monkey Business are there, so they may try to go for this. It's always going to be hard against a team with a Tusk, waiting with the Snowball. They're going to go straight for it. Here's the Snowball going across the river. Will connect onto Miracle. In fact, the Cogs pushing them on this side, and with the Fisher, now with the Blade Fury, Miracle getting low. Crit's turned up, tries to save him. Miracle, he's not dead. What? No, they do get him. I was going to say, if he got away from that one, Miracle will go down. He's only going to be the only one there. The rest of them do manage to keep themselves alive, but I mean, I said it, the Snowball, you've got to be so damn careful when you go up against a Tusk for a rune fight.
Yeah, it was a really good target as well, because Invoker is one of the slower heroes in Dota. Very, very bad base movement speed, so being able to catch out Miracle like that, going to be great. The Tether attack speed slow almost stopped that auto attack from going off. Like, that was so close, and I don't think Miracle used the Tango there because he was more concerned about getting farther away than he was getting that regen. So I'm not sure if it would have saved him, but either way, first blood going the way of Empire.
And talking about Empire in the mid lane, we are going to be seeing Resolution back in this role on his co-op. Yesterday we saw obviously Yoku turn up for the fights, and he did take the mid lane, so we'll see how Resolution does do there. I mean, the Queen versus Invoker matchup, can we expect to see that go a certain way?
Well, it depends on what Miracle decides. If he wants to go for Exort, you're going to need a few levels on this Invoker before you're going to start being able to really pressure the lane. But having a Forge Spirit out, having Cold Snap makes Queen not really too likely to be able to out-harass you in the later levels, but probably from levels 1 to 5-ish, Queen should have a small advantage, I feel.
It's kind of interesting. On the bottom lane, you've got Moon obviously on his clock, and he's going to be backed up by Fly and the Cottle, who's obviously decided for the time being he's more used bottom lane than top.
Yeah, I think this is actually fine. The Wisp and the Tiny probably don't need too much help at this particular point, and just having the Coddle there means that going for the Clockwork is very difficult. Like, sometimes you get a disruption off, it guarantees the Juggernaut can close distance to spin, and that way Cog doesn't really do anything, right? Like, if you Cog after you come out of disruption, you're probably still dead. And
the Cold Snap on Resolution here, bringing him incredibly low.
Nice.
There's a Fisher as well, just in case they were able to try and get the kill onto Miracle, but Miracle's going to be fine. But both mid laners going for each other's blood and each other's necks here. And there's going to be Resolution balling himself up a
that
regen
rune.
rune. He's going to be happy with that.
That's actually so nice for him. The thing about Invoker is, even if Miracle decides to go for Exort now, he's already got 2 Quas, which means that he's going to regen a lot. And a lot of what makes Invoker a good laner past the preliminary couple levels is it's very hard to actually get him to go back to base. You have to pretty much straight up kill him or get him to like 5% health. And even then, sometimes you can still kind of stick around. So having that regen for Resolution means that he can consistently apply pressure and doesn't have to necessarily worry about
bottom
making
lane?
bad trades.
I keep seeing Yoku keeps looking for the wraparound here, trying to go on to Moon, but it's proving to be difficult with the fly Cottle behind him. Silent.
Dude, the flare spam with this Keeper of the Light is actually doing a ton of work. You just give him chakra and you just keep spamming flare, and then you just...
Do they have any regen on them? I mean, look how far back they're moving on the bottom. Like mid lane, Miracle turns around for a quick cold snap.
Whoa, 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 whoa. He's going Quas Wex? Or is that just a value point into Wex for the new Alacrity? I guess we'll have to wait and see.
It's going to be interesting to see what Miracle does with this hero. He's got himself a salve up. But this bottom lane, I mean, the CS on the board as well. As you can see, Tiny at the top, 16 for 13, and then compared to Jugs, 9 for 0. This Cottle Clock dual lane is doing everything that it needs to.
Well, the problem that they're having down there is one of the supports is actually melee in middle. Gonna see the Queen getting super low, but no, Resolution actually manages to take out Miracle first, so Queen definitely getting the better of that exchange. He gets the experience for the kill. But I think the bottom lane is actually going to be a huge, huge problem for Empire. Because as I mentioned, 2 melee against Clockwork, not really ideal. Shadow Demon doesn't do any damage on his own. He kind of needs another hero with him to really have that kind of killing potential. And even with a Shaker, you still need the Fissure to actually block. And we already talked about the fact that there's 2 heroes in the offlane here for Monkey Business. So for now, even with that kill happening mid, Resolution's going to be happy with that exchange. But bottom lane is going to continue to be a problem right now for Empire.
It certainly is. Fly not looking to go anywhere, just keeping the Illuminate spam up, forcing Silent to have that hard time trying to get those CS out. And yeah, as you said, the mid lane, Resolution on his crop, I think he's closing in on the level 6 as well here. So when he does get that, he'll be able to look for another potential kill attempt on.
It's a 2-level difference right now.
Yeah.
If Resolution can find an opening, or maybe even get like a small rotation, because Miracle is Quaswag, so if he invokes Ghostwalk, he's gonna need Dust to be able to get the kill. But this is a little bit of an opening for Empire.
Look how aggressive they're going on the bottom lane. They want to try and fight Moon and Fly, but Moon will pop the battery assault, and they've just got to walk it off here again. It's just proving to be so hard for these 2 supports on the side of Empire to actually be able to catch out anyone in this offlane and look for a kill, but maybe with the rotation, Resolution has got that Sonic Wave here. He's going to look for the lineup, looking for Fly first. They'll get that one. Still holding on to the ult here, Resolution. Didn't need to use it then. Moon is going to be able to keep himself by the tower. But nice little rotation round, getting Empire a 3rd kill on the board, and it's 3 for 1 at the moment for them, regardless of the fact that their bottom lane isn't going too great.
Well, if you look at the overall CS, Miracle has managed to pull ahead of Resolution by a little bit. Resolution does have 2 kills, I believe, to his name, so he's still doing fine. But the Tiny is just towering over everyone.
He's having a great time top. I mean, the Tusk is just... it's proving to just be unable to really shut down his farm. Silent. And he's incredibly low, no regen on him, and not enough mana here to get out the healing wards, so he might even have to just go back to base. It looks like that is going to be the case here, so... I mean, yeah, as we're saying, it's just such a different story here between the Juggernaut and the Tiny.
The biggest issue for Empire right now is their team actually has to do a lot during the early mid-game, whereas Monkey Business, they have Coddle, they have Relocate Ganks, they have Quaswex and Boker to help create space, and Clockwork, and then you have your Tiny for the ultra late game, so... they have a lot of ways they can play this out. They don't have to rely on their laning phase so much.
Dance. He's going to get a very deep lane ward here, but I think Miracle knows he's there. Moon's turned up as well, and this Shadow Demon is Shadow dead. They knew he was there. The pings came out from the side of Monkey Business as soon as that movement was made. I mean, he does get away with putting the ward down, but I'm sure they'll be aware that's exactly what he was doing. Top lane, Big Daddy moving in onto the Tusk, will get the toss and avalanche combo. Snowball comes out, but I think he's pretty much low enough that one more right click should bring him down, and there we go. Bam! Big Daddy there with the help of crit, getting the kill. TP will come out, they'll back themselves up. There is also maybe a bit of a counter initiation. Lovely Sonic Wave blows up the IO. A little bit low on mana though, looks like Resolution won't be able to do anything about the Tiny, but at least Empire do get a kill on the return there.
That counter kill's nice. I think he wanted to maybe clip No Tail as well. He's going to pop his invis. Going to see another teleport up here. Big Daddy's going to have to be very careful.
Yeah, this could catch him off guard. I think he would have expected that the Quap would have backed up after that, and he hasn't. There's 4 heroes here on the side of Empire. The Fissure, Ice Shards, everything being thrown down onto the big guy. And Empire proving that just to have some really nice reactions to kind of what Monkey Business are doing and catching them off guard a fair few times now in the first 7 minutes.
And this is great stuff from Empire. They realize that the pressure is on them. They are the ones who have to dictate the pace of the game for at least the next 10 to 15 minutes. Try to get some kind of control going so that Wisp and Tiny with the Coddle pulling people around as well doesn't just become a huge issue. there's just so much control that Monkey Business have during the mid game if they're allowed to get off to even an okay start. And it looks like their reaction here from getting ganked here is going to send the Tiny bottom.
They'd love to kill Silent. He's yet to hit level 6. The Avalanche will get him, and there's the toss forward. Moon, but the Blade Fury, in fact, Silent might be able to turn this one around. Bring in Moon low. The cogs are out. The Fisher as well. Moon will go down. No, the charge is keeping him alive. It doesn't matter. Silent's still up. There's the toss again. Fly lands straight on the head of Silent. It's a 1-for-1 so far. Crit now coming in to try and help out Big Daddy. See if they can clean up anything else here. Avalanche onto Aloha does a couple of punches. Will bring him down. The snowball coming through as well. Big Daddy still has another toss, I believe. He's actually been relocated back out there, so Crit brings him out of the fight. They'll sacrifice Fly there. Now a 2-for-2 between the two sides, but of course Monkey Business do get themselves the kill onto Juggernaut.
I love the fact that every single time Monkey Business is playing aggressive, Empire are always there to react. And Resolution is going to be kind of the key point, I feel, for them, because he has to be at every single engagement. He's pretty much all of their burst damage during the early game outside of the Tusk, as we're going to see a spin here.
I was going to say, Big Daddy get very close and personal
Good
here.
toss.
There's the toss back.
I thought if he maybe had Omni, there was a chance that he could get a kill, but Tiny actually does very well against Juggernaut in that regard. Since Tiny doesn't actually require a target, the magic immunity from the spin doesn't do anything. You can always just throw him.
Middle tower is under attack.
I'm talking about the Omni slash Silent, of course, with that crew wave, has just hit level 6. And now we're seeing Aloha Dance come up on the Shadow Demon as well. Crit is there on the IO. Big Daddy's going to move forward here. Aloha Dance with a bit of a wraparound. They haven't caught vision of each other as of yet. The pings are coming out though from Fly, giving them the heads up that there is someone in the neighborhood. Aloha Dance hiding in the trees. I think they might have just I think they realized that he's there now. With the spirits hitting him, they know that Shadow Demon's hiding in the tree line. He's looking for a disruption, but Big Daddy, that's the disruption. Disrupting his life. And Silent's got an Omni slash. Big Daddy, 700 HP. Crit is there across the tree line to help him out. He's going to go for the Omni slash. Enough. The Fisher there, very nicely stopping Crit. We're even thinking about doing anything. He's just going to hide this one out.
It's a very scrappy early game from both teams, and they realize dictating the early game pace is incredibly important when you have this style of team. And I think the Juggernaut pick, Lumia said he didn't really get it during the draft, and I think it's pretty much just about having some hero who does a little bit of damage for you. Because again, Shadow Demon and Shaker, they don't really do damage on their own. A Fissure can block somebody off, but a Fissure only does like 150-ish damage. Teleport.
TP down from Shaker here. They want to do something, but Moon has got a hook shot available. We'll put down the cogs. The Fisher onto 2, trapping them in here with the Tusk. Now Miracle's turned up. He's looking for the EMP here. Tusk is made to run down bottom, but he has got that haste rune, so can get himself out. Toss forward there onto the creep, and they will actually find that kill there. Invoker finishes it off. They'll get Yoku here on the Yellow Warrior on the Earthshaker, and they've found a return kill. They do get Io there as Resolution finally turns up to the fight. He's now, in fact, looking for that courier to just get it safely back. And it is going to be 2-for-1 there, as also Monkey Business do find themselves that tier 1 tower. So a bit of a scrappy fight, but still the Dire coming out on top.
And the big difference separating Monkey Business and Empire right now is, again, Empire's lineup, they have that mid-game stride that they just gotta hit. And for now, Resolution continues to be the standout for them. Meanwhile, Monkey Business getting that tier 1 in the safe lane off the map, as we're going to see another snowball here top lane.
Yeah, with the Blade Fury as well from Silent, it's going to be more than enough damage to find the kill onto Moon. Empire keeping it tense away, and 11 minutes in, a lot of action between these two sides. Crit hasn't got relocated here for 30 seconds or so, but he's going to come in with Big Daddy and Fly, hiding in the jungle, maybe seeing if they can catch out Resolution. And now he's coming forward. Big Daddy spots him. It's going to be a hard kill. Tried to go for the Avalanche stump. Couldn't quite get it there in time. It's always going to be a tricky one, as if anyone was going to react quick enough, it would be Resolution on his quad.
Well, it was daytime vision as well, so he had a lot of time to actually blink out of there. I would have been surprised if that combo had like any chance of hitting whatsoever. So Miracle going for the standard face drums. Aloha Dance.
In a lot of trouble. Rocks to the backside. Resolution blinking forward, looking for Big Daddy here. Hasn't got the Sonic Wave, but the right clicks and the Fisher will be enough. They find the kill on Tiny. Crit will relocate out. The question is he going to be able to bring anyone back in?
There. I don't think...
Can they?
Does No Tail buy back for this? Nah, I don't think so. They have Hookshot, but I don't know if he wants to buy back.
It's just going to be Crit coming straight in. Tethers down. The hookshot's going to miss there from Moon. Now with the EMP, but the Snowball dodge comes out. Snowball straight onto Miracle here. Resolution continuing with the right clicks. Will blink himself away. Looks like Empire looking to retreat. Now Yoku's just gone for the walk in, just walked into the middle of it all, getting low. The defensive disruption comes out from Aloha Dance. Yoku will be able to get out of Fisher. Crit's going to get popped. Now with the Blade Fury, they'll get themselves another kill. It's going to be granted a double kill to the Tusk. As Monkey Business lose 2, and they find nothing there, and some great teamwork there from the side of Empire. Now Big Daddy turns up with the Avalanche. They'll get the Shadow Demons. They found something in return. Can they find anything more here? Omni Slash is available on Silent. Now with the Fisher setup, he might look to try and go for it if the creeps get taken out by the Snowball, which they do. Blade Fury first, bring a Miracle low. He's trying to get himself out with the Ghost Walk, and he will be able to. There's no detection here on the side of Empire, but the Omni Slash eats up Big Daddy. The Illuminate's big, but it's not big enough. Not enough to bring anyone down on the side of Empire. And Empire playing it very nicely there in the mid lane. There's a Sonic Wave as well available for resolution, so Fly, he's got to be careful here.
That was a little bit strange from No-Tail. I thought he had plenty of time. I thought he was just going to go for a toss, you know, just toss the Juggernaut back. Maybe he Omnis the Coddle or something, but at the very least, he trade Coddle for Jug, which is a favorable thing for Monkey Business, but I think he played it a little bit greedy and waited for the Avalanche instead. Ends up paying with his own life, but Empire have built themselves a very nice early game team. They are more than capable of fighting, and it just continues to show why the Juggernaut pick is so good for them, because the Soul Catcher and a level 4 spin does so much damage. And that's not even accounting for the Queen Burst or getting Tusk Punched or anything like that. So they are not lacking in their capability of just blowing up a single target.
Mid lane Miracle has returned to apply a bit of pressure here. Interesting choice here from the side. I think, was it actually Big Daddy's picked himself a set of drums up as well, I believe so. So both heroes are opting for the drums.
When you see this many kills in an early game, you have to itemize in a way that allows you to continue to fight. Like, you can't go back for anything like Midas. Maybe Blink wouldn't have been a bad choice either, but just valuing the stats.
I like this as well from the side of Empire. Smoking up Resolution, ready to go with that Sonic Wave. Let's see if they can find anyone from the side of Monkey Business. They'll take the rune, look towards mid. Miracle and Moon are the ones hanging there. Top lane, you've got both Big Daddy with Crit hanging behind. And Empire are going to look to wrap around top. At the moment, just Silent in lane. Hasn't got the Omni Slash available, but they should still be able to find some kills here with the rest of the gang turning up. Who's going to look for the lead in here? Resolution. He's waiting for someone to reveal themselves here, but the side of Monkey Business know that something's up. Big Daddy's hiding by the secret shop. You've got Crit still hanging around the trees. Let's see if they go here. Silent trying to bait some kind of action here. The question is, do Monkey Business fall for it? And it doesn't look like Big Daddy's going to TP bottom. So's Crit as well. They don't want to hang around for this, and a nice avert there from the smoke gank from the side of Monkey Business.
I think they're starting to realize that the early game engagements are actually not favoring them. Like, Silent has pulled ahead in terms of net worth. Resolution is still way above everyone else. And it's not as if Monkey Business cores are doing terribly. It's just, it's a 4-kill advantage. They've lost their own safe lane tier 1 up until this point, and even though the first couple of fights were going favorably for them, it seems now like they're starting to respect Empire's early fighting, and they just don't want to take that risk because they realize we have a lot of things that we can fall back on. You know, our Wisp is level 6. We can go for the surprise relocates. And
Big Daddy hoping for a big kill here with the toss avalanche combo. Is it going to be enough? Yes, it is, and that is a very nice kill there for the side, ending Queen of Pain's mega kill streak. Looking for a Aloha Dance. Aloha Dance trying to duke it around through the tree line. Moon and Fly's there. Moon's there with a hook shot straight in onto the SD, looking for disruption, but he can't get it out in time. Toss from Big Daddy. Going to get himself that double kill. Another look for the tier 1 as well. Crit rejoining the forces. The fortification is there, but it's going to be hard for Empire to try and defend with 2 heroes down. Yoku, 1,200 gold at the moment on your Earthshaker on his way to the Blink Dagger, and they'll get the tower. Shards being thrown out here. They won't look to follow it up, and I really like as well these aggressive wards from the side of Monkey Business are going to spot out Silent, but Silent, with that move speed that he's got with the mask and the phase boots, will be able to get himself down south. But as you can see, we've got 3 Die Observer wards all around the Radiant jungle, so the Monkey Business can do these kind of actions.
as soon as they see Empire split up, they just always want to be aggressive. There's no reason to fight them if they're going to be like 5 versus 5, because I think that Empire might have a slight advantage in that situation. But if you're fighting a small skirmish like 3v3, 2v2, I think Monkey Business are much more comfortable taking that kind of fight, especially when you have a hero like Tiny, because he can just take somebody out instantly. Even at this stage in the game, Silence got barely over 1,000 health. He almost dies in a combo. Tusk is pretty much the same thing. You add the Wisp damage on top of that, and they're pretty much dead to rights. So as long as they're able to take those fights in small scale, I think they'll be just fine.
Ping's coming out here from Silent on the bottom lane. Looking towards Big Daddy and Crit here on the Tiny IO, but they're going to again, hide behind the tier 1. Maybe hoping that Empire try and look for a push of their own.
Yeah, they got Tiny Blink as well. It's going to be very scary pushing into this. And Empire probably don't realize it yet, so there is always that one fight that you get for free where they don't know you have Blink, and you might be able to just get a good pick with it.
It's just a bit of a waiting game here for Monkey Business. Still holding on. Fly. Maybe hoping to give the illusion that he's alone, but Moon's there now on the sidelines. Hookshot is back online. Tiny IO have headed into the jungle, but there is a relocate online as well. It's off cooldown, so they do wish to join in and jump into the bottom jungle. As we've seen a couple of the wards now fading now. One of them was dewarded towards the mid, so the vision of the Radiant jungle here for the Dire has been lessened. And Silent still looking for some action with the Omni Slash. So both teams just playing it a little bit more careful now. Empire, they've had enough though. They want some more of this aggression. Smoked up and ready to go. They have that deep Radiant Observer ward in the Dire jungle. They did spot out Tiny and I, but now they've made a move back towards the mid lane. There's a TP in from Miracle as well on the Invoker. They're keeping themselves the right side of the tower as well here. Monkey Business avoiding Empire's movement. He's using the flare there. Very aware that Empire are up to something sneaky. Question is, do they realize where they are? Now Empire coming down the mid as a group. They're desperate to try and find some kind of action, but Monkey Business are playing. Oh, they're actually going to look for a smoke up themselves now. Realizing that Empire were the ones to try to go aggressive then. And it didn't work out for them. Monkey Business now trying to catch Empire on the retreat. They might just find a low hard dance, and it looks like they will. Big Daddy blinking in with a combo, gets Shadow Demon. And now with a hook shot forward, Moon, can he get the cogs down? Oh, it's actually going to push back YOLO Warrior on the tusk, so they won't be able to find anything more here. He's actually just going to look for the straight TP out, just in case there was a counter reaction from Empire. They just get the one clean kill on ST.
It was a pretty big commitment for only one support kill, but I guess since Empire also kind of failed their smoke, like you had mentioned, it's not too big of a deal to just get that one kill and establish a little bit of control on the map right now. I think for a while, it's just going to be both teams continuing to look for those openings, just try to find one or two good fights. If Empire get that fight, though, the nice thing for their lineup is they have Juggernaut. So Juggernaut pretty much ensures easy Roche. You got healing wards, so if they take one good fight and then they get the Aegis up on either Resolution or Silent, then I think they'll be in pretty good shape. Whereas Monkey Business, their team can kill Roche, but they require a lot more space to do so. So they would have to get like some kind of 4 or 5 man wipe or something like that to be able to do it. And looks like Big Daddy was looking for a kill there. Not going to find it, though.
Yeah, the farm certainly for Empire looking very good at the moment in terms of individual net worth. 9.2k on your Quap, and Silent, of course, on the Jug, 8.6k. Ahead of both Miracle and Big Daddy No-Tail at the moment. Still early days, 20 minutes in, 14-13. And as we always know, with a Tiny IO lineup, it's going to get to the point of the game where a one-team fight is going to equal 2 or 3 free towers off the back of it as well. Miracle catching out the Shaker here, looking for a solo kill, and he should be able to get it here. Perfect execution of the combo. Dominating kill streak now for your Invoker.
It's a really nice kill. I think Yoku's still a little bit away from the Blink Dagger right now. Yeah.
Oh, he must have been so close before he died then as well.
He probably lost like 200 gold or something for that death. So yeah, he was real close to it at that point. So very, very nice pick out for Monkey Business, just delaying that a little bit. But I mean, considering it's barely over 20 minutes, it's not like too slow of a timing or anything like that for a position 4 or 5 to get Blink Dagger. Still though, Monkey Business looking for their space.
And worth noting as well, Fly's farm on the Cottle has been not too bad. 20 minutes in, he's only about 1200 away from the Aghanim Scepter.
Yeah. I think the nice thing about Coddle is once you get to that point in the game where you have Aghanims up and it's just daytime, your sustain is infinite. Like, you give your team mana, you give your team health, and he's pretty much...
Oh, Fly. He's in a lot of trouble here. I don't know if there's any... Yeah, there's no saving this Cottle. Fly will go down there. Silent's going to be able to get himself the kill. But on the plus side, Fly did manage to invest there in the penultimate item, did pick up the Staff of Wizardry, so didn't lose that much gold at all.
He pretty much lost nothing for that death, actually. So the important things to note here early game so far, like Empire, they realized their bottom lane was going badly, so what do? They just send Silent to other lanes. They just use max level spin to just counter gank. They realize that keeping their towers alive is pretty much #1 priority when you're playing against Wisp Tiny. You do not want your tier 3s exposed at an early stage in the game when you're playing against these heroes, especially.
Because your Resolution leading in here with the Orchid, but crit with the Glimmer Cape. Going to allow Big Daddy to get himself back up the lane. Empire won't decide to chase this one, and yeah, he'll just look for the straight TP out, keeping himself safe. So both teams just finding it a little bit harder to catch anyone out at this point.
It's a lot harder to take fights when you're getting towards that mid game. People are dead for longer periods of time, which means that Roshan starts to open up, and some of the tier 1s have been taken down here from both sides. And that just means, again, if one team gets a really good fight for them, Roshan can mean tier 2s drop. If that happens to Empire and they lose their tier 2s, again, tier 3s are exposed. You leave yourself open to relocates and just backdooring, which is a very, very scary thing for them. They just don't want to give away that opportunity, and maybe once Resolution makes his way towards his BKB with that newly acquired Blink Dagger on Yoku as well, they might go for a smoke, but I don't think they're going to try to take up a straight fight. They want to pick.
Yeah, there's some big item pickups as well as those two that you mentioned. Also on the Tusk now, we have a completed mechanism here for YOLO Warrior. So something else to add to these mid-game fights when they want to team up and go. Top lane, Big Daddy straight in with the blink forward. Won't actually get the avalanche stun all the way onto Silent, so he doesn't take that much damage, and he's able to keep himself safe there.
I don't think he would have died anyway, actually. Like, he can just casually spin and run away. That's the problem with Tiny against Juggernaut, is if you go on him straight away and you use Toss, spin TP is always going to get you out unless you get hookshotted.
And we are seeing Miracle now with a completed Orchid. But this is, of course, is coming out at a similar time to, as you said, the Queen getting her BKB, so she's got to complete now as well.
The item is huge for them because they're still very reliant on the Tiny's combo to deal damage for them. So if Resolution just has the freedom to blink into a fight with BKB and knows that there's pretty much no counterplay to that at all, this is something very good for Empire, is their timing on the magic immunity of these heroes is going to be at a point where the Tiny's still not doing enough right-click DPS to really carry it that way. And they still have a Miracle, of course, who does a decent amount of right-click as well with his Orchid and Force Staff.
Yeah, you'd love to try and find a pick-off here, but there is pretty much the full team here of Empire on the mid lane, so it's going to be hard for Miracle to get a wraparound on that on his own. And Empire was Silent, wrapping around, looking to try and find Fly potentially, but Fly keeping himself safely away from this action. Big Daddy's now turned up, and the question is, do they want to try and fight into this? Big Daddy hiding in the tree line. Silence actually going to pop the Blade Fury now. That's been pinged out as Monkey Business realized that maybe this is an opening to go in. Miracle's still there on the back lines with the Ghost Walk, trying to set something up for his team, and it could be big. They're incredibly grouped up. Big Daddy going in with the Avalanche. Yoku's picked up though by the Snowball. No one to die as of yet. They're going to look to try and find Big Daddy No-Tail, but Crit's there with the heals, relocates him back up to the high ground. They have already lost Moon Meander though on the Clockwork. Aloha Dance with Resolution, who's bought the BKB, looking to try and pick off Crit, but Crit with the Glimmer Cape will keep himself alive. Silent with the Omni Slash bounces, found Miracle, and now blinking forward. Resolution wants to get Big Daddy. He turns around with the combo, not quite enough to drop Resolution. And Empire find themselves 4 kills. It'll only be Fly. Oh, I was going to say surviving, but Resolution, he's trying to chase this down. He had a little bit of time left on the haste, but it wasn't enough. And he'll just simply TP himself back to the bottom lane. But what a fight there for Empire.
I'm telling you, man, that BKB timing is so important. Keep in mind, there was no Echo during that team fight. That was without the use of the Shaker pretty much doing anything but throwing out a Fissure. So that is definitely bad news for Monkey Business, that you take that team fight, you lose it that badly. I think fighting into that item timing is just too difficult for them right now.
Moon TP's in, a very aggressive hook straight across the creep wave, trying to chase these guys down, but now with the shards out, the Fissure as well. Moon taking a lot of damage here. Has got the Blade Mail out, Fly moving forward. I can't quite cancel this TP though, no way of doing that. As Aloha Dance will be able to get away from right under his nose, and they won't find anyone here on the back. Top lane, Big Daddy working towards his Aghanim Scepter. He's under 1k gold away from that one himself. So that will be online fairly shortly, around the 30-minute mark at this pace. And once he's got that, I mean, that's obviously a massive item here for the Tiny. But at the same time, Empire had just been playing these fights so well, and they've been playing around the Tiny really nicely as well.
And also with the addition of BKB soon on Silent, I think that's probably the biggest weakness right now of Monkey Business team, is they just do nothing against BKBs. And because of the fact that Empire played such a solid early game, the rotations coming in from the Queen and the Juggernaut both, even the
Miracle,
Shadow Demon
he wants to try and go for this, but the BKB comes out straight away from Resolution, and now with the return Orchid, Fissure comes out as well, and Miracle in a lot of trouble, finally gets out the Ghost Walk, only just though. The Shadow Strike still ticking him down. It's going to bring him incredibly low, but the regen's going to be enough to keep himself alive, only just though. As Miracle will be safe. Doesn't have a TP though in this situation. It's just going to have to hide it on the tree line.
He's got Quas regen, he's fine.
So he's lucky they're not coming to look for him.
He's getting
the recall. I'm not going to leave him there. I mean, he's got Ghost Walk back up in a bit. Nah, they'll take him out now. I don't want him hanging around at that low HP. He'll be fine, and he needs to be here for this defense as well, because Empire have got 4 heroes down here by the tier 1, and they may look to just look for another fight.
I don't think they want to stop fighting at this point. They have such a big advantage already. Like, their Queen and their Juggernaut have such high net worth comparison to the Tiny and the Invoker.
Do they go for kills or Roche here?
I think they go for kills.
I think they go for kills. They're looking for flight. That's a nice ancient stack here as well that I'm sure they'll be happy to take if they get the chance to do so. Oh, fly! Oh!
See ya. I mean, he got like a 5-man blinding.
At least he's got his axe complete already.
Yeah.
Miracle trying to find a return kill onto Aloha. Dancing he will. Gets himself the Shadow Demon.
Was that a late mech? Felt like that was late. I don't know. I don't know if he would have lived either way.
I was going to say, there's a lot of damage and there wasn't anyone really close enough to get anything on return. The Shadow Demon down, Miracle. Posing himself near the pit.
Roshan's still too hard with 4 people being alive. So I think the reason you always want to go for kills in these situations is you know that you're stronger in the fight, but Roshan is kind of that one place in the map where being in tight quarters can be
Axe
real
picked
bad
up by Big Daddy, and that's a tasty amount of golden XP.
They're coming
Empire
to contest.
unhappy. Big Daddy here with the avalanche onto Silent. There's going to be the Tornado coming out. And they continue to fight this. Big Daddy looking to just clear out the Ancients. He has been Glimmer caped up as well. Alacrity on him. Silent moving in. The blink out just in time before that Blade Fury connects from Silent. So they won't catch out the Tiny. And of course, as we saw there, Big Daddy himself did get away with taking pretty much the majority of that stack nice and cleanly.
Yeah, it's good that they got most of it because they need all the help they can get right now. There's still a little while before that Tiny is going to become a real big threat. He's going to need BKB as well. That's the problem is you kind of need BKB this game because of the Shaker and the Tusk, but you don't want to buy one because there's Shadow Demon. So Shadow Demon makes BKB pretty awful because you can still get Purged, you can still get Soul Catchered, and at that point you're kind of just moving at 0 movement speed. The Tiny Illusions actually still deal a ton of damage too because they're all base damage. So Shadow Demon just completely destroys Tiny during the late game, and I feel like Empire, they are looking really solid right now.
Yep. Tries to go for something there, but Blade Fury off by Silent, blinked away here by Resolution. Oh, there's going to be a hook shot. Very aggressive from Moon. Do they want to try and fight this? He's going to pop down the cogs now with a blink forward from Resolution. He's popped the BKB as well. He wants to keep this fight going. The shards will in fact just end up holding back his own teammate. And they wouldn't be able to find anything there anyway as Monkey Business get themselves back out. Top lane, Big Daddy looking for a bit of the top lane action. He's got crit there as well. Ready to offer him a helping hand. Relocate is online. This is the thing though, really. Empire, they've been sticking together as a group for pretty much the majority of the whole game, so the relocates haven't really been there, as there's never really been an opportunity to catch someone out on their own.
A lot of it has to do with the fact that the early game rotations again from Empire just gave them the momentum they needed to just continue to be able to fight. They knew this game that if they took it late and they, like, say they get like 10 less kills, you know, they're just playing passive, they're trying to farm it up. Monkey Business would have been in a way better position because their heroes have a more late game timing, I feel, than what Empire have. So they just abuse the fact that their heroes are so damn good at fighting, like even pre-6. Like a good fissure with a disruption in the Soul Catcher and a spin. Okay. They find no tail. Good. Oh, I thought I hit him. I was like, they're going to get him here, but a little bit late.
Fisher, crit. Hanging around, of course, with this Invis rune. Scouting them out. He'll give it the old walk away. He should be fine here.
So we've been talking a lot about what Empire have done. I kind of want to talk about what Monkey Business can do. I think the best plan of action for them is to just always make sure, like obviously Tiny and the Wisp want to be in different places. Miracle can scout out with Ghost Walk, as he's doing right now. Just try to prevent fights from happening and just keep the lanes as pushed as you can. You really need to get No Tail to that ultra late game stage where he's got like AC, BKB, or Butterfly, whatever item he decides to buy next. But he needs to be fatter than he is right now. Because without the use of BKB, I think he just dies too fast. And even Empire now transitioning into that kind of pseudo right-click carry queen. Resolution picking up the Assault Cuirass. Great choice for him this game. Helps the push. Great against the Tiny. But yeah, Monkey Business need to buy time. That's pretty much the game plan.
And they're trying to do that on the bottom lane here, looking for a tier 2 of their own. Resolution going forward here onto Big Daddy. Now TP's going to come in as well. Miracle trying to help out the Tiny. Now Yellow Warrior here with the Sun straight away onto Big Daddy. The Sonic Wave will still clip in the Glimmer Cape, providing him some kind of salve, but it doesn't matter. It's a double kill as Resolution finds both the Tiny and the IO. Blinking forward as well. Would like to find more, but Miracle speeding off with the Ghost Walk will get himself away. Silent's going to look for Roshan here. Lower Dance is there as well. And with 2 heroes down on the side of Monkey Business, it's going to be hard for them to contest it. Miracle is coming around with the wraparound. I mean, can they try for something here? Fly's about. Moon has got a hook shot, but Resolution straight up to the high ground. Looking for Fly. The Fisher will set up that kill. And Fly, well, she's going to be able to walk away. No, Resolution blinks forward. He's saying you're not getting out of this one. Miracle's trying to do something here with the Tornado. The Omni Slash gets taken off as Miracle's able to force himself up to the high ground, but he forces himself into Resolution here. And now Resolution and Silent chasing him down. The silence is there. No Ghost Walk for you as Empire finds yet another kill, and Moon just sits there on the bottom. He's right on the tip here for a potential Roche steal.
He's got this.
It's gonna, if anyone's gonna pull it off, it would be Moon. But his team, been non-existent.
Even if he suicides and gets the Aegis, it's still worth it.
Moon.
Oh,
nah, he missed the whip. Yeah.
He wanted to though.
I mean, he probably would have died twice, and he might die anyway.
Absolutely would have died.
Can they cancel this? Oh yes, they can. Yoku with the fishes to the face. Moon. Crits coming out from Silent. And this, at this point, it really is falling apart from Monkey Business. In fact, let's get the graphs up, Weapers. And as we can see after that, we're starting to see a significant lead come out for Empire and in XP as well. 12k and plus. The net worth a little bit different, obviously, just because of how well Tiny has been farming. But individually, Jug and Co-op, Silent and Resolution. And okay, bit of a beat down there. Crit and Big Daddy No-Tail find something there with a relocate.
Dire's bottom tower.
Yeah, getting the Shadow Demon is going to be nice, obviously, but again, it's just all about biding their time. They got Coddle. They can spam push out waves pretty easily. They got Quasvex Invoker to Tornado EMP when Empire decide to group up to push. You know, you got Flare to scout. You can use Miracle to scout. There's a lot of ways that Monkey Business can play this, but it just seems like Empire are just making the right moves every single time. They just seem to catch out like 1 or 2 heroes. They just get Roshan there, take a really good team fight, get more picks after Roshan's already dead. They just seem to be very succinct today, whereas lately, especially at the Asus RG DreamLeague, they haven't really been looking like the Empire of old, and this is one of the few games where I feel like, you know, they are on point.
Yeah, I mean, this is the classic Silent and Resolution just doing their job to a T. It's 18k net worth on both. You got the MKB now finished up on your Juggernaut at 35 minutes in. They're going to be very happy with the progression of their cores. But it's just going to be a question of how Monkey Business can play around this. As you said, continue to just create space across the map, try and pull apart the lineup of Empire and force them to make rash decisions. And obviously then find the openings for Big Daddy to get himself in onto the towers. There is just a tier 2 remaining in the mid lane. So in terms of map control and tower push, we're actually at an even state between the 2 sides as they've both just got 1 tier 2 left at the moment.
Monkey Business team excels at doing that, though. That's the thing. In a perfect world, if the game is even, then Monkey Business are always going to have the lane equilibrium advantage because they just have the better heroes for split pushing. But since Empire have just done phenomenal this game, okay, hook shot.
Moon, he wants to go for this one here. Aloha Dance is going to be able to walk it off. Silent could be straight in. Resolution leading on to Miracle with the Orchid. Joku's there with a Fisher here. They'll move in on the Invoker. They'll find the kill. And TP out will be successful. So it is just Invoker going down, but a big kill nonetheless. And Resolution now on an unstoppable kill streak. This man's been having an absolute game. 13 kills, 8 assists, only died twice. And now he's looking for some action down bottom. Big Daddy and Crit moving in, but there is a relocate available. Crit's going to hang around at the side, looking for it if they need it. Oh, that Echo Slam was a creative one, to say the least. And Crit will just simply relocate Big Daddy out of there. So a bit of a whiff there from Yoku. Unfortunately, not able to get the blink off first to start. That's something he must have cancelled it that he just did not notice.
Yeah, I think there might have been... Were those illusions down there? Maybe that was what happened. Yeah, he manted. Maybe he just got hit randomly by a manta. I don't know.
Maybe just a random cleave or something came out.
Yeah. Hard to say, but sometimes that kind of thing happens. And it's not too big of a deal. They still get the Wisp. Obviously...
It's being hunted here. But Fly and Big Daddy are here. Hook shot. It's not going to collect onto Silent. Silent will just Blade Fury. Looking for a walk around here. He's fairly stacked. Is he stacked enough to withstand this damage? Even with the BKB, does get off the Omni Slash, and the bounces are very nice. In fact, bouncing away from the illusions, not nice enough though. Big Daddy and the gang do manage to finish him off there.
That's a big kill.
Yeah.
That's 1,100 gold for the Keeper of the Light. Maybe not the best person to get the credit for the actual kill, but everyone else gets a good chunk of change off of that as well. I mean, those types of kills are actually very important for Monkey Business, because we talk a lot about how they're the ones who need to bide their time, and getting one of the cores off the map, especially in a position where obviously Silent's not going to buy back. They're not going to be able to pressure the lanes enough to force him to buy out, but that just means you get even more time to do what you want, which right now seems like Monkey Business, they're going to want to smoke up.
And they certainly are wanting to keep this pressure on. They've found a couple of positive trades across the map, and they want to continue it going. Looking towards YOLO Warrior here on the top lane. Closing in on him. He has got the Glimmer Cape and a TP. The flare. Won't give vision.
Oh, it'll break.
But yeah, the smoke's broken. They know he's around. Oh, they go for the standard spot here. Tornado and everything being thrown out. And YOLO Warrior now will look to TP.
Oh, hook.
And he gets out.
Oh my god, Moon was looking somewhere else.
Oh.
He had to have been looking somewhere else. There's no way they...
It was a smart position for the Toss to choose. Doesn't go for the standard place by the shot. It's a little bit sat north of it.
The thing that was really hard about that was when the smoke broke, it was right near the side shop.
Yes,
so that's like
so you
the
just assume
obvious...
that.
Yeah, that's the obvious place that you think he would be, and unfortunately that was not the case. So very nice that Tusk is able to get himself out of that situation.
Oh, Big Daddy. A crit here on the bottom lane. I mean, in terms of high ground defense for Monkey Business, it's pretty damn good. And the wave clear,
it's super good.
Couldn't be any better.
Yeah, that's one of the things that Empire are going to have the hardest time with, is trying to break that high ground. Ideally for them, they just take a team fight, get a pick or two, and then try to go high ground, or they force a buyback or two.
Oh, the ping's coming out and crit. They want to get rid of this IO before Tiny has any help from the little bull. And Big Daddy will try and turn it here with the Manta, the blink, but the Echo Slam comes out. They're controlling Big Daddy nicely with the snowball. Orchid, meaning this man cannot turn around to do anything. Hookshot now from Moon. Tornado will fly out onto the Tusk with a Sunstrike as well. YOLO Warrior will be able to Glimmer Cape and keep himself up. Sonic Wave now onto Moon. Resolution blinks forward. Still trying to continue this fight. The Ice Shards are nice. Blocking Moon in. Blink forward from Yoku there. Catching out Miracle with the Aftershock passive. Snowball onto Fly. Resolution will get himself godlike. Miracle able to waltz himself back to base there with the Ghost Walk. But again, an absolutely fantastic fight for Empire.
They already have a buyback as well on the side of Monkey Business. The lane pusher, Fly, he's got himself back in here. Resolution, though, does not really care.
Ow, Miracle as well. That's, that Omni Slash.
Wait, the Manta actually...
Bloomin' heck.
He killed the Coddle, but it immediately got broken by Manta. It's actually very hard to time that perfectly, because Manta's like 0.1 seconds.
Big Daddy's just walked up into the whole gang of Empire. Disruption's going to start this one off. Resolution pops the BKB. Big Daddy caught in. Will get relocated out in time. Oh! Do we really have to pause here? Okie dokie. Well,
not the greatest pause timing. Although, I will say that the relocate came in anyway, so regardless of whether or not he's lagging, he still did his job.
He did.
Yeah.
A Miracle is in... Oh, you might be able to invoke Ghost Walk here. So he may be... do they have a... They did have a gem, didn't they, on the side of Empire?
I think they do. I don't know. It's hard for me to see.
Yeah, it's on the Yoku Shaker. Yeah. Well, sorry about this one, ladies and gentlemen. We are just going to have this quick pause. It looks like there's a bit of lag issues here. Kale, indeed. Yeah. But, I mean, so far, it's looking pretty good for Empire at this point.
Decent.
I mean... With that last fight as well, I mean, they're kind of on the verge of potentially losing a set of racks here.
They've already forced, what, 3 buybacks? They killed Fly twice. Yeah. The Tiny bought back, and the Invoker didn't die, right? I think Miracle was alive the whole time. Yeah.
He might just be about to, though, yeah.
Yeah, but again...
Yeah, and this would be a dieback on Miracle. That's going to be pretty major.
Yeah, okay, he did buy back then. All right.
Yeah. Ooh. I mean, I've got to be honest, I'm impressed with Empire's performance here. After what we saw yesterday, they've really stepped it up. I mean, they've changed kind of the lineup that they're playing with again. And we are seeing, obviously, YOLO Warrior being the stand-in and Resolution and Silent back in their kind of traditional positions. It's working wonders here. I think they can be very happy with the fact that I think it was the fact that they managed to get the Quap as well in the draft. Resolution's been making so much happen across the map.
It was banned against them yesterday, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think quite a few times.
Yeah, and the other thing too is I was going to point this out post game, but the difference between the draft style when, like, say, Resolution, for example, is drafting is very different from what Godblack likes to do. Like, Godblack, I don't really feel is kind of that all-in aggressive captain who really wants to control the game from, like, minute one. You know, he has, like, a more, I guess, versatile way of drafting where his team can do stuff at every stage, but it's not necessarily amazing at early, mid-game aggression. Whereas when Resolution drafts, all these heroes are built to kill people. Like, that's all he wants to do. He just wants to go fight. And that's what Empire have always been good at. So I'm happy to see that that's the kind of draft that they've brought here in the first game. Because again, if you go late game against Monkey Business and you haven't taken some significant lead, you're going to get ratted to death by Wisp Tiny. Like, it's going to happen. And the only reason I'm not, like, discounting them as the game is going to resume.
They're straight in back on with the action miracle there, getting caught out by the drive-by stun, and that's a quick crit from Silent. Bringing down Invoker. Out of the game for 80 seconds now. Big Daddy wants to try and make... Oh, crit! He just evaporates there. Moon will hookshot in, trying to fight. The combo does bring down Resolution on the Quap. Silent gets the Blade Fury out here. Looking to try and get Moon. Moon will be able to get himself alive there with the Ghost Scepter. Snowball coming out now. Silent fairly low here. He will get caught up by the Mana Leak stun. Can Big Daddy find the kill? Oh, that's a beautiful toss and an avalanche. Hasn't quite brought anyone down here. Silent is still alive. The Fissure from Yoku might just allow Silent to escape here. Yeah, he's going to get out. I don't think Big Daddy can blink to close this gap onto the Jug. Oh, the toss is there. He gets the vision for it. Will find the kill onto Juggernaut. The ping's coming out. The avalanche.
Clubbed.
That's clubbed to death. So Big Daddy does manage to resurrect what was a pretty nasty position for them to be in. Look at the gold.
Change.
This man is suddenly a very rich one.
Well, before the game was about to resume, I was mentioning how I wasn't counting Monkey Business out yet because they have Wisp Tiny.
Yes.
I mean, that is just one of the only duos in the game that can come back from, like, the most ridiculous situations, like Megas or whatever. You know, you can just, like, bag it over the throne, whatever. Wisp Tiny.
I mean, what does Tiny buy now with all this gold that he's just found himself come into?
I think he still needs a BKB, honestly. Like, it's so annoying to play against these heroes without it. There's just too many stuns.
Look at it. They want to try and get a buyback out.
Yeah, they really do. But there's not that much time, so, like, Queen is definitely not going to have to buy back. The best thing they could do is force
the hookshot's going to miss. He looks for it. Couldn't quite latch onto Yoku there, Moon.
That's a really bad thing, actually, because if he lands that hook, he probably forces the buyback out of Silent. They kill Yoku no matter what, and then they just run. So that would have been, like, the ideal scenario. So not forcing a buyback out of the Juggernaut means that they're going to have to kill him twice, because there's no way that Silent spends all his money unless he has Aegis. So...
that was the investment there from Big Daddy. Moon Shards.
Moon Shards. I mean, the attack speed is the backdoor play, where you can just say, all right, I'm not going to maybe go for the all-in 5 versus 5 fight. I'm just going to make sure that I can pressure the lane super hard. And if I get an opportunity to hit a tier 3, then we're killing it. Like with Moon Shards and Overcharge, that thing is dead, like 100%. So it's a different plan. Instead of going for BKB and trying to defend, he's going all-in aggression.
Empire, they're going to go for yet another smoke here. And let's see what they can do. They might look for Roche. I mean, it is kind of a longer respawn time this time around. And we'll be able to find it. Still a minute or so. I mean, that's the question. Do they continue now to look for a kill, or will they hang around for Roche? Now, they want to find something. They do still feel very confident taking the fights, potentially.
Now, Roche is up real soon.
Oh, okay, they could have just back. Okay, they don't want to go. They do want this Aegis before they go for anything else here. Yeah, 1 more minute on the timer before they're able to pick that one up for the boys.
But the problem right now is if Monkey Business knew that Roshan was the top priority for Empire, which I don't think is too hard to get here, you can actually just push in the lanes, and then Empire will be forced to immediately go back after killing Roche. Like, the worst thing that happens is Empire gets Roshan, and then they walk straight down one lane, and there's no lanes pushed out for Monkey Business, and then they have to defend their base with everyone being there. Because then you get to utilize that Aegis, right? You can send in Silent with 2 lives or Resolution with 2 lives and say, okay, we're going to fight our 6v5 outside of our opponent's base, and we're going to take racks. But they're not able to get those lanes pushed out maybe as far as they would like right now.
Interesting pickup from Resolution. The Satanic on the Quap.
I actually like this. I think because of the fact that he has BKB, and he's always prone to aggressively blinking, that giving himself that sustainability inside of the team fights when you can just get like a million screams off, you already do a decent amount of right-click damage. It just makes him so beefy. Like, how are you going to kill that hero? If he gets blink, stun, toss comboed, he BKBs, he pops Satanic, hits 3 times, he's at full health. Right? Like, that's actually very useful against tiny carries. And he did just choose to bot bottom, so they are definitely prioritizing Roshan. Monkey Business doing the good play here. They're positioning to go for base. They are smoked as well. They can actually do a ton of damage.
They can clear these structures incredibly great. Is there is a fort up here for the side of Empire.
Yeah, they're gonna have to fort, like 100%. They're already TPing back 1. He needs to cancel that. Yeah, he does.
They've got the Aegis now resolution.
So
but
much
they still
damage.
need to make their way back. They've only got Tusk here at the moment. Fortification comes out, but Big Daddy's going to stand tall.
He hits so hard. He needs to overcharge him. Actually, he might be able to get it without it.
Yeah, the Warrior is going to go in with the snowball here onto Big Daddy. Resolution and Yoku have turned up. Big Daddy just turning and fighting. Mech's being popped by YOLO. Forest Punch slow onto Big Daddy, but now he goes for the second half of the racks. Crit actually relocating
No, he
up
got
high.
silenced!
Oh, Big Daddy getting critted down here by Silent. They'll lose both Tiny and Io.
Oh my god, Resolution is a god. That was actually so good. If they got no tail out there, that would have been a gigantic win for Monkey Business. Like, hands down would have been a win.
Now he's down for 80 seconds with no buyback gold available either.
That might have just been a game-winning Orchid from Resolution. Because if now they get the chance to go down mid, and there's no Tiny for the base fight, they can just counter-racks, and then everything is fine.
Some more major pickups here for the side of Empire. Greaves on your Tusk, and Skadi complete now on Silent. This is going to be a very scary push here for the side of Monkey Business to defend against, especially with Tiny still down for 50 seconds. They may have got half the racks on the top lane. They may lose more than that themselves.
Yeah, this is going to be very, very tough. Who else has buyback right now, Monkey Business? Because they're definitely going to need him. All right, so no
Moon.
one.
Only Moon.
Or yeah, sorry, a Moon. So,
I mean,
Moon,
they're coming off cooldown fairly shortly.
he has to like suicide. Like, he has to suicide and like buyback just to delay.
Resolution picking him very aggressively here. Of course, does have the Aegis. Fisher onto crit. Silent just standing there looking to take the tier 3 and he'll get away with it. That's going to be the tier 3 down now onto the bottom set of racks. Fly, just trying to push them back here with the blinding light. Now we're going to have Big Daddy back up in 17 seconds. Yolo Warrior and Aloha Does moving forward, creating space for the rest of their team to find the full set of racks bottom. That's one set down. They want to try and look for more at least. Tier 3 in the mid lane. Falling pretty quickly here. Miracle going in with the cold snap and the Orchid onto Resolution. Resolution's just going to turn, trade right clicks here with the Invoker. Hookshot in from Moon, and now with the combo coming down with the defensive disruption very nicely coming out from Aloha Dance, keeping Silent up and healthy. Now with the BKB and the Omni Slash onto Big Daddy. Big Daddy getting low, will fall. There's no saving him, but the buyback is now available. The double kill from Yoku as he slams down Fly. Fly will buyback also. They're just losing crit at the moment on the IO. Silent will Blade Fury himself and back out. Fly and Moon are still there. Big Daddy ready to close in. He wants to try and find some more, and he will. Avalanche on Silent, but Aloha Dance holding back the Tiny with the disruption. Fisher as well to close him out, and now Resolution moving in with the right clicks, and Big Daddy is going to be big and dead. 100 seconds off the pitch, and now Moon looks for the CP out. He may be lucky this time, but I don't know about the rest of the state of the Monkey Business base. They've lost half of the middle set of racks. They may lose Miracle. Miracle's going to go in with the cold snap onto Silent and Empire. Thinking about just going for the win here onto the tier 4s. Oh, Miracle slides to the left. Slap from Yoku and a snowball to the backside. YOLO Warrior now on an unstoppable kill streak on the Tusk. Moon will be forced back, and GG's called. Empire have done it. 41-21. What a performance there from the boys in Monkey Business. They tried to do their best looking for the openings with the Tiny IO, but Empire just played so damn well.
Yeah, the top thing is kind of what lost them the game. Like, it was a good play to go for the racks, but not being able to get no tail out just hurt them so badly. Because he dies, right? He had enough money for buyback as they were killing mid racks, but Moon didn't want to go in, I guess, and waste his life on one racks was, I think, actually the right call in the end. Because if you trade one racks for one racks and you have a relocate available,
yeah,
and you say, okay, we can just go like force them back whenever, like